I present to you Korean New York food, chopped cheese rice cakes. It tastes like a warm hug. I didn't see you there, world. My name is Jay Lee, chef and owner of No One in East Village, New York City, and I'm here today to cook chopped cheese rice cakes. Let's go, baby. So the first step is to make aromatic oil or scallion oil. So we're gonna take some neutral oil. We're basically taking 1 part onion and 1 part scallion and a touch of ginger to help infuse the oil. The key to this oil is to add shit ton of onion and scallion, because once it starts frying in the oil, it's gonna lose a lot of its volume, and you wanna make a concentrated oil. So chopped cheese is a sandwich that was birthed in Harlem or Bronx. Imagine a cross between a cheesesteak and a hamburger served on a hero or a roll with lettuce, tomato, onion, American cheese. But the deli guy, they'll chop up the beef patty, the burger meat patty, right on the griddle, and then add melt American cheese on top. Ginger, leave the skin on. So this oil takes about 30 minutes to make, and you wanna keep an eye on it. You're gonna notice it's done when the onion and the scallion kinda lightly caramelizes and the oil is clear. All right, soy pickled jalapenos, soy sauce, sugar, rice wine vinegar, yuzu juice. Get the one that's not salted. So here, soy sauce, sugar, rice wine vinegar. It's missing garlic. And yes, garlic is a very important ingredient in this. Slice the jalapeno. You know, the reason why I cook something that's not exactly fully Korean is because that's just literally who I am. Because Americans will see me in America and they'll see me as a Korean. But when I go to Korea, they see me as an American. So I wanted to bridge that gap and kind of tell the story of a Korean-American immigrant. So the pickling liquid has come up to a boil. I'm pouring this over. We made a little more than we need, but that's okay. All right, next we're gonna make the miso sauce component of this dish. So there's 2 types of miso that I use. One's a Japanese shiro miso, which is sweet or sweeter than the Korean miso called doenjang. And Korean miso is made out of soybeans as well, but this is like a lot funkier. And this is mirin. Mirin is sweet rice wine. If you have a torch, this is good. You just want to burn off the alcohol. Just watch your face. And you do this because you don't want that raw alcohol taste. Is it super important? Can you really, really tell? Probably not, but it's technique. And you don't want to disrespect your ancestors like that. So the Korean miso goes in. So I add this in first because it's clumpier. Japanese shiro miso is smooth. There you go. So this is just freshly ground beef. All right, so here is Korean chili flakes. This is Old Bay. And then this is some fish sauce. There you go. I thought about this, right? When I went to eat at Chopped Cheese, where I lived in Brooklyn, the deli guy, I would watch him and he would sprinkle some seasoning on top. And I thought about it and I looked at their spice rack and they have Old Bay. So I'm like, yo, this has to be Old Bay. He was like, oh, this is my secret spice blend. I'm like, bro, you sure it's not Old Bay? In Korean cooking, we like to season even ground meat, like chicken or meat or pork. I just thought of this as like a dumpling filling, you know? Or that I just cook out instead of, encasing in a wrapper. And my mom used to make these little Korean beef patties called 동그랑땡. And she would always season the meat. So I'm like, I can incorporate flavor in here. I don't want to miss that opportunity. All right, scallion oil is complete. You can see that it's golden brown. You could tell how much scallion and onion is in here, so you can kind of imagine how intense and concentrated the flavor of the oil has to be because of how much scallion, onion, and the ginger was in here. That's when you know you made it right. It looks clear. So in this bowl, we have rice cakes. How cute are these? So we're gonna toss these and coat them lightly in cornstarch before we fry them, just so they don't stick to each other, because they have a tendency to do so. So you can find rice cakes in Korean supermarkets like H Mart. There's different shapes. They're different. But you can try them all. And my old boss used to say, number 1 rule is there's no rule. So just try it, right? Guys, always test your rice cake before you put it into the fryer, because if you put them in too early and the oil is not hot enough, it's just gonna get greasy. You don't want greasy rice cakes. My grandma would slap you in the face for that. So if you add in the rice cake, they should start to bubble up. A good temperature is 350. You don't want to over fry these either because they will pop in the fryer. Let's move them around. You're gonna see, look at that. All right, so now they're crispy for sure, but I'm gonna pull them out now because I don't want them to explode like that. So what's Korean American about this dish? Or what's Korean, what's New York about this? Rice cake, 100% Korean. Soy pickle jalapenos, 100% Korean. The scallion oil, Korean. The miso sauce, Korean. The crispy shallot, sesame seeds, Korean. But now the New York, corner store element, the cheese sauce we're gonna make, and the meat, and the chopped meat. So the scallion oil we use to marinate some of the meat. It helps with incorporating the spices in. And here we're just gonna add about 1.5 tablespoons. Now we're gonna take about 3 ounces of the marinated ground beef. And you want it to sizzle. You want this to caramelize. You want the spices in here, the Korean chili flakes and the Old Bay to cook out into the oil. And you can tell by the color of the oil when it starts to take on more of a red color. All right, so now I'm gonna add in the rice cake that we deep fried. Now the rice cake is gonna soak in some of that flavored beef fat. So now I'm gonna hit this with the miso sauce, about 1/2 tablespoon. It's honestly to your liking. Now I'm gonna hit this with some labna. And I added labna in here because it's something that I had in my kitchen. We use it for our honey butter tater tots. And I figured why not, it's dairy. So this looks like very expensive American cheese. Yeah, that tastes expensive. That tastes like money. So I'm gonna add 1.5 slices. I'm gonna add in some of these soy pickled jalapenos. Just a touch of this juice, the pickling liquid. It's coming together, guys. Bring it back together again. All right, now I'm gonna plate it. All right, so now I'm gonna garnish this. Some scallion from Faraday's Garden. Because the dish is so rich and heavy, you can add, the scallion is the only fresh thing in here. So you don't have to be super shy with it. Some crispy shallot, some sesame seed, more of that Asian element. You see this, you automatically think, okay, this has to be Asian, so it's a visual help. Some Parmigiano Reggiano. That's it. I present to you Korean New York food, chopped cheese rice cakes. All right, so let's taste this chopped cheese rice cake. A little bit of everything. Yo, feels like, dare I say, a pasta dish. This dish feels very homey to me as a Korean American, but it also tastes like New York to me. Do you want a bite? I know you do, and I want to give you this bite. Come visit me and No One to taste the real thing cooked in a wok. Go support your corner store, support your neighborhood. We'll get through this, y'all, with love and respect. Peace. I'm really hungover.
You want a beer?
I think that's gonna help, honestly.
What were you drinking last night?
Soju, Korean beer, whiskey, tequila.